Hi everybody, Sal of the Earth here. I just felt like making a video whilst sitting in bed in my dressing gown after the 11/11 portal of yesterday. It was pretty intense, I have to say. Let me know how you spent it, if there were any meditations or anything specific that you did. Personally, in the morning at 11:11 a.m. I followed Cobra's silver trigger meditation, and actually on the dot of 11:11 bought some silver as was advised, a pendant and a cube of actual pure silver, which I got an email today. Funnily enough, they just sold out and they were very sorry, and they're going to send it to me when they get restocked. So that was a good sign that they'd sold out, because it means lots of people have been buying silver, which was the point. So well done everyone. Yeah, I had lovely calm meditation in the morning, and then I went about my day, mostly resting, to be honest, because I have Ehlers-Danlos amongst other things, so my body is a little bit glitchy and it needs an awful lot of rest. But that's kind of all the diagnoses and things are on the surface. From my more spiritual perspective, I'm beginning to understand that these are things that I think I've chosen to actually express and to clear and to heal, not just for my personal self but for the larger group. You know, when you have a genetic condition, you're thinking, well, that makes me connected to lots of other people, and that's very interesting. How am I connected at a deeper level? And it's not just family, it's a lot of people all over. For instance, when I got diagnosed in 2015, very shortly after, I found out that this rare condition was also shared by a couple of mums and a very old family friend who also lives in the same village, and a smattering of other people hadn't necessarily been diagnosed, but it was suspected, including both my parents. So it's funny how all this kind of suddenly came to my awareness, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I started connecting on various social media groups and talking to these people who were going through similar things, because it's a condition that affects pretty much everything in varying degrees. So I would like to find out more. I'd really like to talk to other people who are of a spiritual inclination and who have some experience, personal experience with any sort of chronic illness or genetic sort of disabilities, because I feel very much that stuff is coming up to the surface. All our junk is being basically scooped out of the bottom of our barrels and put in front of our faces so that we can deal with it and go beyond that and recreate ourselves, understand ourselves better. That's the key to the whole thing, isn't it, really? Understanding ourselves better. What we are, who we are, how powerful we are. Honestly, the gift of the imagination is much more than for entertainment, oh good grief, and child's play. It's the very thing that helps you get from A to B in your life. You know, you feel like you love working in one particular field, and you imagine yourself doing that and living your passion, and all this positive energy goes along to that vision, along with that picture. It goes out there and it anchors that reality, and you pull yourself towards it through repetitive imagining and feeling. So back to yesterday. There was some time lost because the morning I was sitting there resting and looking through various messages, playing one of my app games, just amusing myself, and then suddenly it was 2:45 and I had to go and pick my child up from school. I hadn't had any lunch, which is really unusual for me because I like my regular meals. But it was suddenly, where's that time gone? It's just flown by. So I grabbed something and went and picked her up, and we got back, and then, bless her, she turns 11 this month. Yeah, 11. There's that number again. And she decided, I told her I was going to do meditation later, so she'd have to get in bed by a certain time and she could read to herself. But she said, oh, Mummy, I want to help you set up. So we went and got the Tibetan bells and a few crystals and some LED lanterns I've got to make a nice atmosphere. And she didn't just arrange things and then go. No, she arranged things and she closed her eyes and she stopped. And she was putting her intent into the little display. And the feeling I got from this nearly 11-year-old was just peace and calm, and the thought of, oh, you're a natural. I have promised I'd teach her Reiki one day, but that's another story. Anyway, so she went off to her room and I sat and logged on to the live chat group, and it was amazing. It was so deep, and I haven't felt anything like it since about the late 90s, early 2000s, when I was doing Reiki meditation groups back where I used to live. It was so see, I'm lost for words now. I want to convey feelings. I've got pictures in my head. I can't quite get that telepathy out there to you. It was beautiful. And in one part of it, we were sending some healing to Australia, who've got lots of bushfires on the east coast. And we were imagining these huge black rain clouds above us, gathering lots and lots of water and just getting really heavy. And then on the count of 3, we all released it at once. And it wasn't just, imagine some rain falling on fire. It was, you're soaked, you're drenched. And by this point, I've been quite emotional. I got quite a runny nose. So, I was getting the water dripping off my nose anyway. So it felt real. And just at that moment, when the water came down, where the leader of the group was, rain started bashing against their window. It was pretty incredible. It was like, yeah, you've done it. You've just created reality. Bam, right there. This whole group of, I think there were about 222 of us, which is a good number too, isn't it? Lots of repetition there. And it was very moving. So this morning I'm sitting here in my dressing gown because I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that clearing that often happens when you've had a big energy treatment. It washes through you over the next few days, usually clears out those clogged pipes, if you like. Yeah, so that was lovely. So how was your day yesterday, 11/11, or at whatever point in time you are now? Let me know some experiences that you've had, because I'd love to hear. Now, I've got another point to make, but before I do that, I just wanted to show you my little friend. You see my little avatar there? He's got a white cat on my head. Well, he doesn't actually sit on my head, thankfully, because he's quite big. But he does cuddle up and snuggle in my arms. Here's Yuki. Hello, Yuki. You can say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. There's Yuki. Oh, have you got some blinkies for us? Oh, that's a cat kiss. That is a kiss. He's not just sleepy. Oh, look at this. He's such a softie. Thank you, Yuki. You can go back to sleep now.